The devil wants nothing more than there to be chaos within the church. If there's chaos within the church, then people will not be saved if they hear a false gospel. They will not be saved if they go to a church and there's all kinds of crazy things going on. The devil loves to have the word twisted. How do we know? Because he did it in the Garden of Eden, and he did it again to the Lord when the Lord was in the wilderness. He tested him with the word. He knows the word better than you and I will ever know it, and he will use it to twist people away from the word. And then the second thing I said is just a lack of will on people's parts. There are pastors, I've talked about them before. I had a minister at the church right down the road, on McIntosh Road, where I used to attend years ago, when my children went to the school that was affixed to the church, and he was in Bible study, and he said, I've read the Bible once. He had been a minister for 31 years, and he had read it one time. One time. And I thought, what a crying shame. You ought to read it at least twice a year. And that's if you're doing a poor job of it. Read it more, right? And then, well, you know who I'm going to talk about. I won't give his name because I really love the guy, but he was one of my favorite preachers at a church that I happen to be ordained at. And he never read the Old Testament. And I thought, how can you stand in the pulpit and preach and not have known the contents of he said, I need to read that sometime.
How did he also become not hyper-dispensation?
You know, you know what? I'll tell you what that is. It comes down to somebody happened to be a very good teacher at a very good seminary that gave him instruction. Because otherwise, if he went to a crummy seminary, he would have had no idea if he was being told the truth or not. He was a very good preacher. I never heard a sermon that I thought, I don't like what he said. It doesn't correspond with the Word of God. It was always very good. But that was solely by the grace of God, because if he doesn't know what the Word of God says, then he had to have gotten his doctrine from man. And he happened to get it from the right person. I don't know what university or whatever. But that is the problem. If we're not willing to study this thing for ourselves, we are open to whatever we are taught. That's why you need, after you get done here, to go home for the rest of the week and read the Word. Because next week I might say something that you say, well, that doesn't sound right, and we can talk it through. And maybe I'm wrong. But unless you have an idea of what the Word says, how do you know? You can't. You have to be willing to redeem the time and put the thing that is most important first.